Hello guys, welcome to the digital world where me and Scott are trapped in the digital world and we need to get back to real world. But while we were here, we actually found some interesting piece of information that we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, that's... Now I remember what you were talking about. So yes, guys, I'm Scott Serban, Guildmaster here at Players Guild. I'm joined by Loki Smith, and we are trapped in the digital world. But of course, what you've seen on the title is the Digimon game. Digimon card game getting an online client. Where's the evidence, Peter? Are we Phoenix Wright? Are we an Ace Attorney? Do you have any objections? Let's just get into it.
So let's go piece by piece. The most damning evidence of them all. 3 or 4 times we have already been asked, would you like to play on the online client? What did you answer?
Yes.
Same as me.
Yeah. I think I've encouraged so many people to put down, look, these forms that Bandai do aren't just a waste of time that they put out just because they have to. They genuinely look at this feedback. They look at it, and we know they look at it. So that's a really good indicator. So when you put down that you are playing on a digital platform or that you want a dedicated digital client, they see that. They know the demand's there. Now, the argument I see a lot of is, oh, they didn't do it for Dragon Ball, why would they do it for Digimon? So, Peter, do you want to explain why that's not a problem?
That's your pet peeve, not mine.
Fair enough then, I'll go into it. So, essentially, Dragon Ball is a hodgepodge of license holders and bureaucratic nightmare. Without going into specifics, that's essentially why, because they would have to get permission. Bandai Namco is the developer side or game side of Bandai. Bandai and Bandai Namco are not the same company, but they're owned by Bandai. I know, it's confusing.
But the Bandai that owns Bandai and Bandai Namco is not the same Bandai that owns the card games.
Exactly, right? So just go with it. Trust us when we say it's complicated. But with Digimon, Bandai generally own all of Digimon.
Yes.
So there isn't that, well, we have to get permission to use this character. Can we even do this? We know that they can just talk to each other and be like, hey.
They have the full creative control. They can use whatever character they want. They can create their new characters whatever they want.
Yeah.
Which card game can't do.
Yeah, exactly. And
which the Dragon Ball card game can't do. And that's for all the media. They need to get a permission to create a new character. Mostly it happens in the video games.
Yeah.
Android 21, Charlotte, which is the mobile app. And they create new characters that way, heroes.
New Kid, New Force character in Kakarot.
Oh, yeah,
That's what they generally do to sell a new video game is, ooh, new character.
And then that character doesn't really do a lot.
No, because it's like, you go here, and you don't impact the plot.
Android 21 was fun.
Android 21 was great. We need more Android 21 Bandai. But to keep it on top of it with Digimon, we have actually seen them use the Anime 2020 as a launchpad for the card game and vice versa. Yep. So we saw pretty quickly after Devimon was revealed in the anime, boom, there's the card.
I think it was, they showed the spoiler for Devimon on the same week that Devimon showed up in the anime.
Yeah, and that was really cool.
That's the thing that you do, right? Dragon Ball doesn't have that advantage, but Digimon still has anime going for a few more weeks. And they can still do that stuff, and I think we're going to see more from that. Yeah. There's also tons of games to draw on. I would like them to touch a bit on Digimon World 3.
Yeah.
Which was my favorite Digimon World game ever.
So, in regards to that, they have that capability of we can just act on it, and there's no deadlock, there's no red tape, right?
Yeah, they don't need to try to placate another shareholder.
Yeah.
Essentially. They don't need to get written permission to use something, and even that is time restricted. They can do whatever they want. So, at the same time, they can use that IP they own and develop a game.
Yeah.
A good proof why they would do that is they cancelled Xenonzard.
Yes, so this, for those who aren't familiar, is a Bandai property that had a digital and physical element to it. It did come to the West.
Only in the digital version.
Only on the app. Yes. But yes, I wasn't even aware it got cancelled. I didn't realise it continued, but I checked it out for one time, and it wasn't for me.
I played it for 3 days, and I decided no.
But yeah, so with that cancelled, there's a lot of talented developers, designers, producers that are kind of just left without somewhere to go. And a lot of the time, especially in Japan, you'll see them move resources from one project to another. It's why, like, every time you see a Final Fantasy game, there's about a bazillion different producers on them, and you're like, oh, that's the guy who produces Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
The team has been moved, and we have seen the app that the tutorial app, right?
Yeah.
It's very similar to what Dragon Ball did, but Dragon Ball had a very hard time trying to update that.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
It got 2 updates, so the starter deck for set 6 and the starter deck for set 7. So the Kaioken one.
I think so, but the issue was that for the longest time you could only ever play it with the Soul Striker.
Yeah.
And that you were just losing against the newer starter decks because you didn't have super combos, for example.
So it was, that was a bit rough. But with the Digimon app, I don't know if it's been updated to get the newer starter decks.
I don't think it has, and I don't think it will be, because I think all of that development is going towards Digimon.
Yeah.
Another thing to mention is Digimon is way simpler than Dragon Ball. It's easier to program.
Oh yeah.
Because there's very limited amount of interactions during your opponent's turn. There is the security checks, which you get the choice for your Gaia Force, at best. There is Blocker. And there is, I think, one card that negates attacks. One of the Omnimons has a negate attack, I think.
Possibly.
By removing the souls.
I think I remember that, something like that.
So I think that's all the cards that work during your opponent's turn.
Like, I think there's a few other instances, like fighting them more and stuff, but it's few and far between, right? It's like, it's very basic.
It's not like Dragon Ball where, I'm declaring an attack. Sorry, I'm declaring to play a card. So there's counter window 1, counter window 2. Then there is declaring an attack. So there is counter window, then there is auto window, then there is combo window first, combo window second. Then there is a resolution.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
And that's just all off of playing an attack. Like, that's not including any fields or any, like, lots of...
it's just the amount of interaction you have in Dragon Ball is way bigger. So that engine would be way more difficult to make, right?
Yeah.
Especially a lot of people still don't understand how counter windows work.
No, that is true. So Digimon would be great and accessible, as we mentioned. What we would like to see, and is a benefit to Bandai for them if they can do this, is if they do launch a Digimon card game client, that they take the Pokemon method.
Yes, I think Pokemon method for them is... And I know it's a very cliche, Digimon, Pokemon, they're very similar, they were always mistaken for each other.
Agumon is my favourite Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. But in this case, the game actually plays very similarly. Because you don't have much interaction in Pokemon. You mostly play on your side of the board. There's a bit more tactic in Digimon because you need to plan how much memory your opponent gets. But there is, at the same time, very similar to play. You can still influence your opponent's cards, but mostly during your turn. You rarely do it during your opponent's turn. So I think it would work on the same basis that if you buy a product... If you buy a pack, you open the pack, instead of a token there, the checklist or whatever, you get a code.
Yeah.
And that gives you the pack, the same pack, or not the same contents, but the same pack generated in the game for you.
Yeah. And it goes for starter decks as well, right? Like, you get a starter deck, you get a code for it, and boom. So you're not, like, even if you don't play the digital client, if, for hypothetical here, where we're assuming there is a digital client, then you can either give it away, whatever. But the fact is, you're essentially getting 2 products for the price of 1.
Yeah, the thing is that you can very easily match the collections.
Yeah.
And I think that's good, because that supports you, even if you can't play locals, like right now we can't play locals, but even down the line, let's say that you just enjoy playing the game, right? You just want to sit down, play the game. You can't always do that. You have tournaments once a week, and you can't always meet with friends. So you spend the evening after work at home, and you just play the game with the cards you already have. You might have a slightly different collections, but you have that. But, Scott, what would happen to the old sets? Because let's assume that this would come out soonest in set 8, because they would need to prepare the codes and all that stuff. So we still need at least 4 months before it's released. What would happen to old sets?
So we discussed this briefly, and it's a headache, right? Because anytime you're launching a digital card game, you need a set amount of cards there at launch to be like, okay, how is this going to affect things? How is this going to change the meta? Blah 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 blah. So like, if you released set 8, but then you had only set 1 there as well, so you had 2 sets available at launch, you'd have a completely different meta, which would be very interesting, and that's a completely different topic. Like we did when we got all of our sets smashed together.
Yeah.
And then split up.
And then we had Shine War Greymon on the set 1.
Don't,
and it came out till set 1.5.
No, we're not talking about that. Although that would be a cool way to actually get like BT1, BT2, and BT3 for us in the West, is like if they released them as sets on the card.
Yeah.
But yeah, so essentially the problem is, I would strongly suggest and advise that maybe sets 1 to 5 are there at launch, and like set 6, 7, 8.
But the problem is that you have set 8, right? And set 8 is the one that would have the codes. So, and you want to push for your newest set.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need to bring out the old cards. And I think that I see 2 good solutions to that. One is they give you all the commons, uncommons, and rares for free from all the sets up until set 8, or maybe up until set 6, sorry.
Yeah.
So then set 7, you can still buy packs with in-game currency, so you actually have something to grind for. And then set 8 you get when you buy the products. I think for all the products that do not have the codes in the packs, they should give you all the commons, rares, uncommons, all of that, they should give you for free. And then set up a shop with exchange for just the super rares you want. Because this is like a real life, right? The set has been out on the market so long that you can buy the singles you want. Even if we're talking Omnimon set 1, put it in the shop, put it expensive, because that's what it is. The card is ridiculous, but put it there.
Like for me, I'd love a crafting system. And when I say crafting system, it's dismantle it for Digicoins.
Yeah, if you have something, which is actually fairly good for the digital card game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you break it down into data, and then you can reformat that data to get an SR. And generally what you'll see is SRs are at 2,000 data, for example. Rares are about 1,000. Like, just a quick math thing based on other stuff. Like, obviously the numbers would be adjusted. But that is a perfect thing to have in a game, because then if you get duplicates, you can instantly just get rid of them and form them into something you want. Then, for the people who want maybe the premium, you can make the alt arts a premium product.
Yeah, just craftable, or of course coming from the packs as well. Yeah. With one thing I'm going to say, with an idea that I proposed right now, where you get all the commons, uncommons, and rest, I think those should be non-dismantleable.
Oh yeah,
because you did not buy them.
Oh yeah. They're like
they're a baseline. They're a baseline that you get. I think the same would be for the first 3 starters, right?
Oh, yeah,
sorry, first 6 starters.
You wouldn't be able to dismantle stuff you got in game, as in for free. Like if you purchased a pack and you got more packs, you can dismantle those. And if it was just happened to be set 1 Agumon, then you can. But the initial offering that you get, you shouldn't be able to dismantle it. No, and that's how you break a card game.
The other solution I was thinking about is when you buy a set 8, that code you get there gives you 1 pack of every set until now. So
that would really incentivize people to buy it. I still think you should get set 1 just there.
Yeah, I think the starter, the original 6 starter decks, you should have like a single player campaign that teaches you how to play the game,
and then you unlock.
Yes, I think that's an amazing way to do it, and that's how they should do their starter decks, because they have exclusives as well, right?
Yeah.
So all the starter decks that are coming out before this should just be unlockable, even for like 1,000 coins or something to unlock a special campaign for the Gallantmon and Ulfors, which are going to be really popular, that are coming out. I think those type of things, I think that's something that should be done.
Yeah, I think that's a really accessible thing for a market, especially Digimon's a global audience.
Yeah.
And being able to bring the West and East together via the online, I think
I don't think that is going to happen, mostly because of the differences in release dates.
You just lock the format.
Yeah.
You're like,
what do you think about formats, by the way? Should there be only multiplayer? Or do you think there should be a single player outside of a tutorial?
No, I think just multiplayer works. Like, single player could come later. I think just the baseline, what you need to aim for is get it up and running, get the cards there, get you playing with other people.
Yeah.
Single
Have an open beta with all the cards available.
I
to
wouldn't.
people.
I wouldn't hate a battle pass system.
I don't think I would either. It's especially if it has a decent rewards on the free
Yeah.
pass, and then it has like art maybe on the,
The
premium
premium,
pass.
yeah.
I would actually quite like that because that would incentivize you. But provided it's not done in the way, and I'm sorry to be dragging this here, but provided it's not done the way Magic Arena does it. Magic Arena gives you one daily quest, and that's how you get experience for Battle Pass, and you can't gain reasonable experience otherwise. So you can never do the catch up. I think I would prefer something that another virtual card game does, Gwent, where you every week they unlock you 3 new quests, or 6 if you pay for premium, and you can do those quests to essentially gain a level each.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot of ways of doing it. Obviously,
Yes.
my background is in game journalism. That's where I came from before I came to Players Guild. I've been in game dev. I've looked into it and obviously seen studios behind the scenes, especially with multiple card games and mobile card games specifically. So it's a fun world of chaos. It's a constant grind, and it is a lot of work. And the one thing we do have to factor in is the world state right now.
Yes, well, they can't work as much as they would want
No,
to, right?
most of it will be remote working. I mean, Japan was. I think they might still be in a state of emergency.
I think they re-entered in April.
Yeah.
Or May.
So it's very chaotic there. So I don't expect to see it soon. And then even when we do see it, I think it'll be a work in progress if we see it.
I think that they shouldn't be ashamed of trying an open beta.
No.
I think open beta, give everyone who plays access to all the cards and then wipe on the release.
Yeah, you could do that.
And then people who are testing just get bits and pieces.
Yeah,
like, even if you test the ladder, just give people that got high on the ladder, just give them some stuff.
Yeah.
Some packs to kickstart their collection.
A unique icon for your avatar.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we could nerd out here all day. I could break down 3 pillars of development. I could break down, I could go there.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Stay here.
I won't.
Stay
I'll
here.
stay here. So I guess the final evidence will to come full circle. It's like why we believe. I guess this has turned into more of a what we want from a Digimon card game online. But
rather than is it coming?
The final thing for me was when this game first came out in Japan, we covered it. We played it on Octagon.
Yes.
But it was played on Untap, and Tabletop Simulator was hugely popular for it. Not sure about that. It still is. And then we saw the rise of fan clients. I think there was 2, but one specifically rose to fame because it was automated, and it was really well done. Then Bandai responded by putting up a message on their website saying, basically, we earn this, please don't make third-party apps.
It was essentially indirect C&D, right?
Yeah. And obviously, they didn't want to go against Bandai's wishes. They closed it down. And yes, you have to protect IP, and you do have to do that kind of thing. I understand that aspect. But to me, I think that could signal something.
I think we have a talent to actually sniff out things like that. Because I remember when there was a first inklings of English release coming and no one believed us. And we were right to call it.
So, I strongly think, given the success of Digimon, given the popularity of Digimon,
yes,
the fact that this card game is so, obviously it's been hindered by the pandemic. Obviously.
Yeah.
But the demand is so high for this.
The demand is there. People are always interested. Like the BT4 that came out. I don't know when you guys are going to see this video. It has been recorded shortly after BT4 came out.
Yes.
And it's been sold out everywhere. And it's been popular. People want to play. I think our LGS had yesterday the first Digimon tournament as well.
Oh, that's great. That's great news.
So, in person in UK, that's actually a huge deal here. Especially we just got pushed back to stay at home. Longer.
So, guys, let us know what you think. Do you think a Digimon card game client, be it mobile, be it PC, whatever form it takes, is going to happen? When do you think it's going to happen? And what would you like to see in it? As we say in all our videos, Bandai do pay attention to this channel. They do see the comments. So, anything you lead might be good feedback for them. And yeah, any final words, Loki?
If you want to help us leave the digital world, smash that subscribe button, and hopefully we will be able to navigate through the network and get out back to the real world. Please help us.
It's not too bad here. We've got a blue couch.
It's nice and warm.
Got some. No, it's disgustingly warm. It's disgustingly warm. Till next time, guys. See ya. How long was that?